get showcased.
Well, now here is your chance. I am Vega, and I'm one of the trainers here at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Facility. We will teach you the in and outs of the professional wrestling business, from bumping, footwork, and even creating a persona that will take your career to the next level. Myself, along with other professional trainers, will help you achieve your dreams and goals. And if you don't believe me, here's some testimony from Showcase Pro Wrestling students themselves.
The best wrestling school that I've seen.
See, Showcase Pro Wrestling will teach you about the psychology of wrestling, the character work of wrestling.
People here are amazing. They're friendly, they're cooperative, they'll work with you.
We have, WWE alumni coming down here to train too.
But more importantly, it will teach you to be fundamentally sound.
So if you're ready to get showcased, come down to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Welcome everybody to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Vega, joined by the boss Chris Blackheart. Chris Blackheart, you brought some drinks tonight?
I did. Well, let's tell people where we're coming from. We're coming from the 1776 studio, the Dan
Verdandi studio.
The Dan Verdandi's straight from California studio.
Oh man, here we go. Yep, you might offend some people, Chris Blackheart.
Let's get into it now. Now, I have not been on social media. Well, I have, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm flirting around. I really haven't been on for about 8 hours. Shit show has been going on, and I wasn't involved, so I'm going to find out stuff live on the air.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why we have Mr. Hogan's beer.
I mean,
that was going to be a topic, but I didn't
know. We were going to review
literally like
results from Saturday.
You want to start off slow?
From Monday Night Raw, Netflix, all that good stuff. But then it turned out into a bigger picture because, apparently you can't have choice of words and opinions anymore on social media because some people might get hurt or offended.
I think you can if it leans one way.
Oh.
It seems like that's what it is. If it goes one way...
Is that what it is?
Yes, it's okay. But if you have something else, it's not okay. So you want to start off easy or you want to... I got a feeling...
We'll get right into it. We'll get right into the results and then we'll slide in through...
Why don't we go in? So my impression is today, this may be like when we did a show many years ago when we had... paperwork and addresses and court documents.
Well, that show got taken down.
That show got taken down because the truth really hurt.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this show... Yeah. You may just want to watch it live because I'm not sure if it's going to be coming back. At least this episode.
At least this episode here, But we got to see the debut per se of Monday Night Raw from Netflix. I believe they had some numbers on how that first episode went, and it was huge.
5 million.
5 million all around the world, basically now streaming.
It was 5 million. I think they said they were up by 1.5 million views of what they normally would get.
So for all the experts on the internet that were wondering why they're doing it, why they went to Netflix, what a dumb idea. 1 million. What was that number again?
The total at that time was 5 million. I think they said worldwide.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Up from television.
I think nationally it was up by 1.5 million.
So 1.5 million viewers watching should be the answer to your question.
And never mind looking at they changed stuff. It was early, almost like a reboot.
Yeah, everything I love. The
canvas was different.
Yes.
The jerseys on the refs were different.
Yes.
Vince McMahon, what did they do to his canvas? Did you see that?
Yeah, it's an infomercial, but that pays the money and it pays the dollars.
And that's what people forget.
It makes it look more like a boxing atmosphere or MMA atmosphere. I love the entrance.
Now they're packing up the buildings completely. We'll see if that transfers over to other places because they cut down, the drapes, the pipe and drape that used to block that entrance way and take out a lot of seating. That was gone, so they only had the digital wall and the people behind that digital wall. So when they said they had almost 18,000 at that new center in LA, they did.
Yeah, the only thing I like, did the seats have little red lights, or was it
Yes.
like the sections?
No, the seats had red lights. That's the new arena for the Clippers.
All right, I didn't like it. That kind of distracted me.
I liked it, man. It was good scenery and match. It just so happens that I guess they probably changed colors because it matched the theme of the black and red with the Raw and Netflix and everything like that.
Yeah, USA Today, Raw draws 4.9 million views.
So there you go.
Netflix
So
TV.
the thing that I thought was normally I get back from practice, 9:45, 10:15. So I'm like, hey, let me get home. Let me put Netflix on. I'll catch like the last 15 minutes of Raw.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm thinking it's from 8 to 10.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was from 8 to
Well, I guess
8 to 11. Is
they
it normal time, 8 to 10? Or is it going to be 9 to 11?
I guess they're gonna keep the 3 hours going.
Well, they did say that they are allowed like overtime or undertime. Triple H said, "Hey, we can go 38 minutes. We can go over 18 minutes."
Well, that's the thing with streaming. They're gonna be able to do a lot of things that you can't do on cable television, and I think that's gonna bring us back to that era where we have more pushy, more edgy storylines. Back to kind of like the Attitude Era, because now you're streaming and you're able to do all those things. So that's going to be interesting. Now let's get right into our picks, because we did pick
one, pick two.
Well, yeah,
pick three.
Besides the beer.
All right.
We had the matches that took place on Raw there on Netflix.
Oh, do you want to talk about the match that didn't happen too?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
That's a good story.
So the show started, it started with The Rock obviously coming out and, doing his thing. But the opening contest of the evening was Roman Reigns taking on his cousin, Solo Sikoa. And back and forth action there in that match. A lot of surprises, people getting involved. But at the end, Roman Reigns victorious over Solo. And Chris Blackheart, what was your pick on that?
I had Roman.
I had Roman as well. Daniel?
All right, all Roman.
All right, all Roman
looking
there.
Good, looking good.
I thought that was a great opening match there between those two guys. The only thing that
should have been the main event.
the only thing questioning there is it over? Because they left it kind of settled. I mean, he got kind of payback. He got the approval from The Rock. And where do you go from there? Does it begin a new story? Does The Rock eventually turns on him? It just, it remains to be seen what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Sikoa better realign the troops.
So
I think somebody else may be taking his spot.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Jacob since the beginning, and it's funny because I was talking to Jay Hollywood. I got to watch Raw with him last week, and I was like, if Jacob would have had the opportunity to get signed a year or two, or how many years Solo's been with the company, that would have been his spot right now. Because, as we know, they had interest, but a lot of his past got in the way, and it wasn't until they were able to clear all those things that he finally got to join the WWE. But moving on, we saw Seth Rollins in a battle against CM Punk. They've been building this one up for a while. Again, another match that was, a great match, in my opinion. Back and forth action. And in the end, CM Punk took the Duke. A lot of people were saying that, Rollins was going to pull the victory. But I did have CM Punk. Who did you have, Chris Blackheart?
I had Seth.
Yes, Seth. So,
Me too, Seth.
Yep, two losers. Yep. But like I said, CM Punk
No,
victorious.
I was surprised because...
And I know that was the last match of the evening. We kind of had the bracket here written down upside down. But yep, in the main event, that was CM Punk over Seth freaking Rollins. In another match, where do we go from there? Is that the final match? You know, is that it looked to be the end of whatever they had going? And to me, the whole show looks like the end of a lot of angles, the beginning of some new ones.
Well, and some days that's what you have to do. And I think in true wrestling form, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, it's great some days to look at it, speculate, and look at different bookings where they go. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, you can't complain. But what I did like on that, I did like how they were talking about the history of CM Punk was training guys, Seth came over. Like, that part I like.
Yeah.
Because that's real life and that's details.
Yeah. Seth couldn't afford training, so he had to leave for a while.
It
and they met up again during their ROH days there in FCW or NXT. So, yeah, that was interesting to go back and nitpick those moments and put them out there for people that didn't know about those situations happening. Before that, we saw a women's championship match as Liv Morgan defended the title against Rhea Ripley. And, you know, again, a lot of involvement from Dominic and Raquel Rodriguez. You know, back and forth action there. We saw kind of a similar situation that we saw before when it initiated with Dominic sliding the chair in the championship and Liv hitting her finisher. But to no avail this time, Rhea kicking out. And at the end, Ripley becomes the women's champion. And on that matchup, unfortunately, I did pick Liv to retain the title.
Oh, I had that one.
So you had Rhea Ripley.
I got Rhea too.
1, 2.
So you guys had Rhea Ripley on that one.
Right.
I had Liv Morgan. But another match that looked like Rhea got payback on all of them. She got payback at the end with Dominic. And it looks to be the end for now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
With that feud there. So we saw another match that we had to pick. Jimmy Uso taking on Drew McIntyre. We see it up on the screen. And another back and forth matchup that was pretty, I mean, Raw was pretty good. Had action-packed matches. I thought it was one of the better episodes. I haven't watched Raw in a while, but what I saw, it was good.
Well, one thing I mean, majority of people do watch Netflix, and I think the idea you can either jump into it live, or jump into it at the beginning, even though it's still going live.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. So
we saw that matchup there, and we saw Jimmy Uso victorious over Drew McIntyre. Chris Blackheart, who do you have in that match?
I had McIntyre.
Yeah, McIntyre.
Daniel?
McIntyre.
All right, I'm at 50%.
I did have Jimmy Uso.
So what'd you get, 75%?
So I got 3 versus 2.
All right, okay.
The winner back again to my winning ways. Yep. How does it feel, Chris Blackheart?
If I was playing baseball, right, wouldn't I have like a 500 average?
We're not talking about baseball.
I'm just saying,
we're talking about
is a really good average.
Professional wrestling, and it feels good to say professional wrestling again. They're saying it over there.
I did. I got that.
So,
like,
you know.
All right.
Yep. So, those were the picks for Monday Night Raw on Netflix debut show. A lot of people, speaking of debuts, a lot of people waiting for the debut of Penta, which didn't happen this past Monday, but they did hint that Chad Gable was going to be taking on one of the world's best luchadors coming up this Monday on Raw Netflix. What do you thought about that, Chris Blackheart?
I read why he got bumped, and I can't remember why. Danny,
so from the article you sent me, supposedly the promos went overtime with Hogan and The Rock, and they needed time for those guys, so they wouldn't have the time that they wanted him to have, so they bumped it over to the following week. I mean, I was thinking that this was going to be a start of some type of little angle, a weekly thing where Gable wrestles a luchador, and he's successful over those luchadors until we get to the Royal Rumble, and then finally Penta is the one that comes out
That's not bad.
and faces him. But if they want to blow their load quickly and do it this Monday, I guess
Well, and that's the thing. They advertised the debut of him by doing the graphic. What was it, a week or 2 weeks?
They've been doing the Cerro Miedo logo,
so-
and finally this week on Raw we got to see the mask symbol with the penta inside of the mask. But still, it doesn't. Have they advertised that match with Gable and Penta officially?
They advertised Gable versus
a luchador. So
I'm
there's
thinking,
still hopes for the and if it happens that way, I'm gonna bury Howard's that.
Wait a minute. I think it could be a mini.
It could be anybody because they said
thinking-
luchador.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you could build it in the way that, like I said, he beats several luchadors
I think it might be Rey Mysterio Jr.
until he.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I don't think it'll be right.
until he faces Penta. That would be something that would give him some mileage for 2
Well, yeah.
3
I mean,
weeks.
I think maybe Ray could be the second or third, right before Penta.
Yeah.
That could make sense.
I mean, if they wanted to build a whole angle out of it. But who knows? They might want to keep Raw going hot, and they might just pull the trigger coming up this Monday. It remains to be seen. Another one, speaking, going back at people coming back, we saw John Cena return and announce that he's officially in the Royal Rumble, and he's looking to win that Royal Rumble and become the 17-time champion. So we talked about that before. Will it happen? It remains to be seen. But, yeah, he's officially announced that he will be in the Royal Rumble coming up.
I'll give a little plug
in the
on,
next 2
plug
weeks.
on that about regarding Cena. If you, those who listen to podcasts, listen to Something to Wrestle With, John Layfield's taking over for Bruce Pritchard for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And one of the episodes he has is on John Cena.
Okay.
And he's talking about, stuff that Cena does. He's the modern day Hogan.
Yeah.
And just JBL talking about him and the stories and the work ethic is good. So something to wrestle with. Look on the one under John Cena. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I don't know. I don't want him to break the 17. Because to me that's something special.
If anybody's gonna break it, I think Cena should be the one to do it because like you said, he's done his routes, he's done his mileage like Hogan. So if anybody's gonna do it, I think Cena should be the one to do it.
Yeah,
but we'll see about that.
And I think I don't remember if we talked about it on air, but to me it's just different. It's different. If he wins the belt 17 times, it's different than when Flair had the title.
Yeah, we talked about
different
that.
times.
Different situation.
Yeah, it's just totally different. So
so it's different.
I think what it is. I don't want people to forget Rick because Rick was
Yeah, I don't think that's
true
ever,
wrestling fans.
Yeah,
will get
I
it.
don't think that's ever gonna happen. Just because like we said, the mark that he's left. It's a completely different mark than what Hogan's gonna leave and Cena's gonna leave.
Oh.
He was. We'll get to that. We'll get to that shortly. But Cena's back, and it remains to be seen if the first time that we'll see him in action will be the Rumble, or will we see him in action before then. That remains to be seen.
Well, the thing too is I thought it was just now until WrestleMania.
No, he's wrestling the whole year.
But it's the whole year.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So that changed his mind somewhat.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was wrestling. No,
I thought it was
he was
3
going to
months.
wrestle the whole 2025 was as a farewell tour. So, an angle could potentially be built from Mania till the end of the year.
That's a lot. And, he's could be good.
Yeah, well, like I said, it remains to be seen what's going to happen there. But then it took us to right before the main event. I know we had the card all over the place here. Right before the main event, we saw another return to the WWE, and we heard that music that you, Daniel, and a lot of other people used to hear, crashing down, brother. Hulk Hogan coming out with Jimmy Hart waving the All Glory, and we hear the deafening sounds of people booing Hulk Hogan. I could believe it, but I could not believe it because it's a wrestling show, and your views on certain things don't reflect the things that you've done in one industry to entertain people. So,
You know what I thought on that? So I'm watching it, right? And I'm like, I thought maybe it was a problem with the audio. I'm like,
No, that was
I'm like, is Hogan? It's like what I thought was, it sounded like an infomercial, like for Netflix and WWE. I thought the people were booing because it felt like a commercial, right?
No.
And it didn't dawn on me that they were in California until I think the next day you said it, like, no, they were in California. And then I'm like, oh, California, they're very liberal. There's a blue state.
Libtard Central.
And they're, obviously he was at the Republican National Convention, huge Trump supporter. But then people are like, well, he was on the podcast on The Undertaker. And people still like The Undertaker. He came out there.
Well, yeah, but like I was talking to Daniel before we went on air. Undertaker, to a certain extent, there's a lot of people that still haven't found his podcast. Hogan was in the convention. That was all over the place. All over the news, all over media. So everybody got to see Hulk's appearance at the conventions, other than The Undertaker just speaking to Trump. And, obviously he's a supporter as well. But a lot of people still haven't seen that interaction. So that might have been the issue with that. Hogan was all over it. And it's just not a secret. I mean, he's doing the conventions. He's doing the rallies. He introduces the real American beer. He's got the Trumpomania shirts. I mean,
wait a minute. Is he going to be in Washington on the 20th?
I don't know. He might be. He might.
Danny, can you confirm that?
He might be. I don't know.
Is Hulkamania going to the White House on the 20th?
I can see that happening, but deafening boos there when the Hulk came out, and people were upset, and the internet took to what they do, get behind the keyboard and start plowing away, and I just thought it was stupid.
Then of course they resurfaced that bullshit what happened 8 years ago. That he a million times over apologized for the racist remarks.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that people should be pissed about in the world.
Yeah.
Other than the free will to have your own beliefs and support whatever you want to support, and that affecting you and transferring over to something that you've done for the last 40 years to, like I said, entertain generations. Yeah. For them for fans to do that, I just thought it was a little bit.
I was surprised because, and we talk about this all the time, that wrestling, on paper, a lot of people should not get together and be friends and socialize, but wrestling brings everybody together, right? There's no odd criteria, right? Everybody likes everybody because this is a wrestling. Wrestling brings everybody together.
You stole that from James Storm, didn't you?
No.
You stole that.
Did you steal it from me? I tell people that all the time.
You stole that promo from James
No,
Storm.
but it does. Wrestling brings people together, and it's not about any nationality.
Yeah, regardless of race, color, gender,
so to find out that they were booing him because of political belief, I thought that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because from all the years, Hogan never was cutting a promo and Hulk Hogan in the ring supporting a political party.
Yeah.
So
now finally he's doing his own thing. Yeah. He's got his beard going. He's doing appearances all over for different things, and now he finally showed where he's at as far as his beliefs and political beliefs. Yeah. And now he's a douchebag for doing that out in the public.
Just like Trump, before he ran for president, all the Democrats loved him.
Yeah.
So he ran for Republican.
Look at Oprah.
Well, my question is, this is my question, and this is my opinion, right? So all these people that are booing Hulk Hogan because he's a Republican and he's a Trump supporter or whatnot, are they gonna stop watching WWE? Because from what I hear, WWE's got a multi-year or a contract with the beer and Hogan again to have his beer not only in some of the arenas they're gonna be in, but they're gonna be selling it. I don't know, through the website or however the deal is, but. You have it on there, Dave? You pulled it up?
Yep. So a Real American Beer will receive ring mat corner Brandon during every episode of Raw.
That's huge.
That's awesome.
So not only are they going to be selling the beer, it's going to be branded in the canvas now. So again, my question to all these people is, are they going to stop watching the WWE because they're so patriotic, right? That they boo Hogan, so they must blacklist WWE in general. And not only that, if we go way back, I'm sure a lot of people that are in the catering business nowadays wasn't alive or born back when WrestleMania 4 and 5 took place. But if you want to be on the boat again, the blacklist boat, I'm going to call this, Trump hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5. Yep. So he's been in the WWF, WWE product for a very long time. So if you don't like him, does that mean you don't watch WWE again?
Well, remember the whole Vince thing? Everyone was not going to watch WWE.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we're not talking about Vince, but since you brought it
up,
up,
they did. They were.
Since you brought it up,
said, I'm not watching WWE with the whole Vince thing.
So whether they're admitting it or not, and Vince still owns like 5% into the company.
Oh, he's no.
Did you
see the latest on that? Supposedly they're going to go to litigation or arbitration
for what?
For the whole Vince allegation.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, you know what that means?
Yeah, she's just looking for money.
Looking for money. You're settling.
She just wants to settle. She doesn't care about any movement or any person that was really hurt.
Yep. Well, why don't you actually get on the stand and tell exactly what happened from your mouth so everybody can hear the truth, not just the allegations.
Yeah, not just give me a couple $1 million
through the attorney
and disappear into the sunset. This is the problem nowadays.
Why? Because I think, again, no matter what side you fall on, if it's not in the courts, it's allegations. It has to be on record, black and white like this.
There has to be transcripts.
It has to be transcripts. It has to come for your transcripts.
Like a whole book?
Like a whole book.
Okay.
And when it's done in front of a judge, you can't perjure.
No, some people will still lie.
Well, they'd still, but now you can get caught. You could be in contempt of court if you lie. But the fact that you're being under oath, and I think that's what she doesn't want to do now.
Well,
because maybe the evidence, again, the stories, that we run the transcripts, very graphic to say the least. We may have put a little disclosure out there that not all these shows are suitable for all fans.
Yeah. Well, I think our stuff.
If you're under 40. This may not be the right program for you.
Well, I mean,
because we may hurt your feelings.
Well, the problem is, the ones over 40 are part of the hurt my feelings club now. Yeah. So, you're just not.
We're not always politically correct. And some days we overexpose the business and we don't blur the lines. Some days we're literally making the lines.
So, like you said, the Ben situation, Ben still owns like 5% of the company still, and whether they want to bring up McMahon into it or ban Vince or whatever, when you watch the WWE, that's Vince's baby. Yeah. It just doesn't, it's something that's never going to go away from that company because what it is now. And even going back to Vince doing that Netflix special.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought it'd be better.
He's the one that initiated the connection between WWE and Netflix, which is what we're seeing now. Yeah. So when you go back,
you're welcome.
When you go back, whether you like it or not, everything's initiated by Vince McMahon. And I don't know, man. I think once that goes away, we might just see the old man again appear.
Yeah.
I see that happen.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I can see Vince, and you said it before.
He's gonna be involved in wrestling before he's gone.
Yeah. But I think he has to do it his way, his terms.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, this is me calling the kettle black. I don't think Vince is corporate enough for the WWE anymore.
It's just too many years invested, too many years of he being captain of the boat for his story to end just out of the blue. Yeah. I don't see it ending the way that it is looking like it's gonna end. Yeah. And I don't think he's gonna allow that to end that way. So I think we're gonna see him here in the near future in some fashion, whether it's back with WWE doing something, or whether it's doing something else.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on something else. Let me write that down. Where's my pen?
You're gonna write it just to make sure.
All right. No, Danny, put that
I'm
down.
going to WrestleMania. Not this one.
Danny's with me. He says he's not done.
Because I think Vince, in true Vince fashion, he would do it his way.
So you think he's hurt? He's too hurt to go back there now.
No,
The way they exited him out of his own creation.
no, I think he would go back, but I think he has to be in control, and I don't think they'll allow.
Well,
it.
what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's going back there to be somebody that's in the corporate and in control. I'm saying that he would go back there as a character to end his era. Because the Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon era was two different things from corporate McMahon that you saw for many years being an announcer and not knowing that he was the owner of the company. To those people that didn't know, I could see the character having some type of part in some type of angle. The Mr. McMahon era in WWE.
I'm going to disagree with that one.
All right, so
I think.
see, I'm gonna blacklist you. You don't agree with me. That's
Again?
all. I'm gonna go on. Let me go on Facebook right now. I'm gonna unfriend Chris Blackheart.
I haven't been on Facebook for like 8-9 hours. Okay.
You know, because he's got adultery going on in there now. No.
Yeah, you got a bunch of stuff. Apparently, we got a bunch of things going on in Showcase that we are not even aware of. Isn't that?
I love that. I love that.
Isn't that hilarious, Chris Blackheart? But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting couple weeks coming up with all this Netflix and the angles that are looking like to be a whole restart of all these angles that had an ending here in this last Raw. Speaking of ending, we're gearing up in a couple weeks to our first show of the year.
A couple of weeks is actually next week.
Well,
We got a lot of stuff brewing.
well,
If you want to.
January 17, we return back to the Taunton BFW Hall in Taunton, Massachusetts. That's a 7:47 p.m. bell time Friday night, and we're gonna see a rematch for the tag team championship as Los Tóxicos. I heard this is breaking news, Chris Blackheart.
Again,
That you knew about this? Los Tóxicos
haven't been getting-
will be defending the championships
against
against Damien
What?
and Christopher Spratt.
That's not what I put down.
Well, see, Daniel?
That's not. That's not.
What, are you upset now?
No, that's not.
Higher Learning getting a shot at the SPW tag team titles
not- all right.
against Los Tóxicos coming up January 17th
But all right.
in Taunton.
That was the finals for the
Well,
tournament.
yeah, I
All
mean,
right,
there
so,
was
all right.
an unclear
Yeah, okay.
decision when your buddies decided to come out
Right.
and hit Christopher Spratt with that mirror, bloodied him. So now they're going to get a fair share
All right. No,
at the championships. Hopefully, with no interruptions.
I wasn't fully for it, but I wasn't fully against it.
Well,
That was one of the scenarios we were going over.
we're back. Like I said, first
Right,
show
so
of the year,
I'm
New
okay-
Year's
I'm okay with
bash.
that one.
We'll find out who's going to get bashed in that tag team match and if Los Tóxicos will regain and retain the SPW tag team titles on that night, as well as an open challenge. Danny, you're in the wrong poster. There you go. Back there again. The notorious Rambo Godfrey, the SPW heavyweight champion and Sons of Liberty champion, with an open challenge once again.
I don't know. I keep telling Rambo.
He's confident about these
I'm like,
open
Rambo,
challenges.
you almost got caught in Woonsocket when Brian Starr.
So now the open challenges could be for any of the titles. It could be for the Sons of Liberty. It could be for the heavyweight. We'll find out which title.
And that's the problem. He has two problems on his hands.
What?
When you're a double champion, you got two targets. Luckily, he only has one mouth.
Well, you know,
Right.
that's that. New Year's Bash again this Friday night. This next upcoming
17th.
Friday night, the 17th, at the Taunton BFW Hall in Taunton, Mass. You're going to get to see all the stars of Showcase Pro Wrestling. Superstar Sean Candido will be in action. Danny Cabral. The Inconsistent Bums will be there. Jay Evans, Brother Moon Revan, and a whole host of others for that event. The next night, we return back to Woonsocket for Saturday night's Showcase Saturday night at the SPW Arena, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, 7:07 p.m. bell time on that card as well. You know the matches for that card? I know the matches.
It's on the poster.
Yes. You see the poster?
I did. I can't see it from way
Tag
over
team,
here. Yes.
a special tag team challenge match as the new team of 17 Jump Street, D-Rex, and Picture Perfect Rocky will take on the inconsistent bums AZ and Matthew Michelson, the son of whatever
Son of Michael.
Oh yeah, whatever the hell he calls himself. We will see that match, and we'll also see the main event, an I Quit match for the U2 World Championship as Brother Moon Revan defends against Jay Evans. What's gonna happen? We've been seeing a lot of weird situations.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
We've been seeing Annabelle. Well, not seeing Annabelle. We've been hearing Annabelle. We've been feeling the presence of Annabelle.
I don't.
We'll find out what happens. I Quit match for the YouTube Championship. Last time we were in Woonsocket, sold out crowd. Again, thank you to everybody that came out that night. I know it's going to happen again on the 18th in Woonsocket. So get your tickets. Whatever's left, go get it right now. ShowcaseProWrestling.com for all those tickets available now. We move on to the following week where we return back to the Franklin Elks Lodge, 1077 Pond Street in Franklin, Massachusetts, with a 7:07 p.m. bell time. Big card on that night. Matches will be announced next week here on the pod. So those tickets are available now as well.
It
and
is.
We're doing a fundraiser as well.
Yep.
Let us know about that.
Yeah, Danny, read that there. Pronunciation is New England Cheer and Tumble. We're also doing a Chinese raffle. Mm-hmm. So we'll start next week. We'll announce some of the gifts. It's going to be some gift certificates, different baskets where you can buy like an armful of tickets. You put in any basket that you want, and then they pull it out. Last time we did this, it was like a half an hour. It was
you're not gonna
huge.
No rigging involved on this, right?
Nope.
You don't have nothing to do with this.
Absolutely, it was awesome last time we did this. We raised huge funds for, at that time it was another cheerleading organization.
Yeah.
So it was huge.
This time around it's for New England Cheering and Tumble.
Yep.
And that's January 25th at the Franklin Elks Lodge in Franklin, Mass. 7:07 p.m. bell time. Like I said, we're going to be running down some of the matches next week here on the pod. But Franklin, usually when we come to town, that's another venue that sells out. So you want to get your tickets early. ShowcaseProWrestling.com for that and all the events that are coming, because we're on the road to Marchiversary. Wow. It's that time again, huh, Chris Blackheart?
It goes quick, man. I had to break the news on Monday to some of the new kids.
Yeah.
And they go, what? Marchiversary.
It's right around the
Dollar
corner.
for the gold.
It's right around
Here in 10 weeks.
So,
And they're like, what?
a lot of things happen when the
like-
gauntlet for the goals.
So we have a lot of new debuts going in there. A lot of guys have been training for the last 6 to 10 months, ready to actually get in the ring. A lot of opportunity. We'll get into it down the line, but those tickets have not gone on sale yet, but they are coming.
They're coming in the next few weeks, and
Yep.
a lot of the matches,
Well, what I'm thinking, we're doing on, we'll start at February 1st. February 1st.
we're gonna have a big announcement
Yes.
for
And that's why.
that weekend
Yes,
coming
that's
up.
gonna be huge.
That's gonna be a huge announcement. First time ever.
Yep, and do not tell Kathy about it, anyone right now.
Well, yep. First time ever, it's going to be Marchiversary weekend, so stay tuned for that big
Yep,
announcement
and don't tell Kathy, please. Anyone, don't tell her yet.
next week.
I don't want to get
Kathy, next week on the pod.
next week.
Tune in.
The call too.
We got what?
You guys headline news with the Woonsocket call.
Yeah, that was an old clip that
my
Blackheart
bad.
shared.
Yeah, it was a good one, but
that
it
was
is.
a few years ago.
Yeah. We are doing open invitational training too. Ever thought about paying the pro wrestlers? A great time to do it. We actually have a couple of new people starting on February 1st, which is actually a Saturday. So they're going to start on that Monday the 3rd, which is awesome. So
Oh, we saw the
Take
commercial.
step.
We
Yeah,
saw
the
the commercial in the
you did
beginning.
very
of the
good, by the way.
You like that, huh?
You have an awesome voice, by the way.
You like that?
You don't get.
I tried. You don't
get enough credit for that.
I'm putting the effort now. It's time for the people that want to be pro wrestlers to put in the effort and walk through the doors of Showcase Pro Wrestling. We got 2 rings. We got all equipment, training equipment for exercise. I mean, 3 nights, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays with Coach Ken Doan. And you're going to learn, like I said, from the ground up.
Yes.
The foundation. A good building starts with a strong foundation, and that's what we do at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. So if you want to be a pro wrestler, what's the information to contact?
Easiest way, you can always go to showcaseperson.com, click on the inquiry button, send an email, promoter@showcaseperson.com, or on all social media, SP Wrestling. Send a message, we'll get back to you.
Yep.
Or just show up Monday, Tuesday,
just show
Wednesday
up.
nights, 6:30. Just come in, we'll have a good conversation.
Do we have any comments, Daniel?
Yep. Bren wants to know, will you do a show in Woonsocket? Worcester, I'm sorry, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester, yeah. I mean, that was old stomping ground for myself. Yeah.
We're open. We would have to talk to Mrs. Taro first.
We'll be open on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Worcester, Sturbridge and all that, if you want to take us to the Powerhouse Wrestling channel or the Powerhouse Wrestling Instagram or Facebook, Daniel. Because we'll skip over to March. I know we got March anniversary coming up on the 14th of March. And like I said, we're going to go big announcements on that coming up next week on that huge weekend for March anniversary. And Danny's typing fast today. He's
See, I can't say the word that I want to say because people are going to take it out of context.
What? He's typing fast.
I was going to say he's on fire, but I can't say it because it's the whole California thing.
It's the Powerhouse website.
The Powerhouse,
Danny.
my bad.
Yes. See, he was typing too fast. He typed in Showcase.
Well, that's right. I don't own that one yet, Danny. So
Oh, yeah. So there you have it. If you want to pull up the entire card, we got some debuts. We got the debut of alumni of Showcase Pro Wrestling. The BRG will be debuting for Powerhouse Wrestling coming up in our comeback show of the year, March 29th, live from the Sturbridge Hotel Event Center on March 29th, 7:30 p.m. bell time. On that card, you will see BRG. You're going to see the War Machine Rhino returns to Powerhouse Wrestling to challenge yours truly in a street fight for the PHW Heavyweight Championship. That match is official and has been signed already, as well as women's action, as Evie De La Rosa defends the Powerhouse Wrestling Women's Championship, and her opponents yet to be announced. In the upcoming weeks, we will see full-blooded Italian Nunzio returning to Powerhouse Wrestling, and the big debut of a guy that's been out of wrestling for a little bit, back in action again, multi-time champion, guys travel all over the world, wrestle for all the major companies in professional wrestling. Austin Aries returns to the New England area and debuts for Powerhouse Wrestling on that night. And breaking news, we don't have the match card yet, but I know it's official. He will be taking on BRG in a special challenge match. Austin Aries goes one-on-one against the young stallion. That's going to be an interesting match. But tickets available now. You see the square on the screen. You can get your tickets by scanning that right now. Tickets on sale for that big event, March 29th, from the Sturbridge Hotel in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. There you have it.
that was a mouthful.
Sometimes don't say words like that, Chris
I can't say
Blackheart.
that either.
I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we can't say.
All right, so on a serious note, let's actually look at California, as in the huge fires going out there, a lot of destruction, a lot of people losing their homes. So I know I shared a post on one of my social media. There was a horse owner, and he was going out to California just to go out there and grab horses. So if you If you were on one of my social media page, you saw that, click that. You take 10 horses at a time, just get them out of there. So from all the reckoning that's happened in California, I'm hoping good comes out of it.
Yeah.
Like, people are helping people. Obviously, it's going to be a huge thing with rebuilding. But unfortunately, when stuff like this happens, tragedy happens, there are going to be a lot of shitty people out there too.
Yeah, you gotta have our brothers and sisters out in the West Coast in our prayers, and hopefully things get settled down there. And like you said, the rebuilding process, it takes a team effort, so people got to stay together.
Yeah, work together to build it. And I think that's going to be the key part. I mean, if you look at the Carolinas, look at Florida got hit. Just because it's not on the news doesn't mean that it's not relevant.
Yeah.
So, this is obviously the latest disaster has happened to us. And even though we know California's a blue state, again, going back with the whole Hogan thing.
It has to do
about
with
politics.
People struggling and something unfortunately going on and people sticking together. And speaking of those unfortunate incidents and people getting blocked and blacklisted and stuff like that. So Daniel,
what did you do?
We saw on social media.
What did you do?
The last couple of days, I mean, we had somebody butthurt about a comment or a post that you made. Would you mind sharing that post that you put up and explaining to our viewers what was that all about?
I made a comment supporting Hulk Hogan, say he's apologized a million times over. He's a reborn Christian now. Jesus forgives, so should you. Get over it. You know what I mean? And but again, this is more of a political attack on Hulk Hogan because he came out to support Trump on the RNC and everything else. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? For how many times has he been out in the last 8 years? How many times has he been out in audiences? He got thunderous applauses, but not out of nowhere now they're rehashing the racist thing and all that stuff, and it's ridiculous. So I come out to support Hulk Hogan, and unfortunately the fire happened the day after or something like that. So somebody misinterpreted, because I posted something, my prayers are to the people in California. So somebody misinterpreted that I was making fun of the people in California. No, I wasn't, not at all. You know what I mean? My hearts and prayers are to them. But anyway, it got spiraled out of control because these things happen within days from each other. So people say, "Oh, he's bashing the people in California."
Well, Danny, not to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, but here we're transparent. We like to speak with facts and names and all that stuff. When you say people, there was an actual individual that took it upon himself to go on social media and post the complete opposite of what you're saying right now.
Oh yeah, William Gray. I mean, he's on my friends list. I mean, I never had a problem with the guy, but he posts Showcase Pro Wrestling had to tag you guys. Wrestler posted on his page that people in Los Angeles are getting what they deserve, meaning catastrophic fires, because they booed Hulk Hogan on the national television Monday Night Raw. A few months ago, he posted a photo of himself with Hulk Hogan buying a beer. And I never.
So you never once mention that they're getting what they deserve in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
That wasn't anything that was on your post.
And it built up a shitstorm after that. We'll show the comments too, but this failed pro wrestler, Dave Manning, decides, guess who just goes to the gym and takes pictures, and you actually have idiots like this guy on your roster, tagging Chris. Because I posted a picture, a motivation picture at the gym, you know what I mean? And so this guy's sitting there bashing the shit out of me. Now I want to say one thing to Mr. Manning there. Let me get the video here. So, Mr. Manning, and to everybody else, all you haters, right there. So, you bunch of liberal pansies, that's what you are. You know what I mean? And I don't speak for all liberals, but you bunch of pansies. You don't like it too damn bad. Well, and then if anybody's got a problem, you know where to find me, man. And come see me to my face. You talk shit in there, tell them, I don't know how it is to work. You watch my videos, man? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, man. You get off your fat ass and come down to Showcase Pro Wrestling, wherever, and you come match me in the gym. Let's go. I'll give you where I go. Well, LA Fitness and work right now. You come to the gym, see if you could outlift me. I could lift twice your weights. A bunch of jerks, man.
So
and again, right there.
So, other than taking pictures, Danny, are you actually lifting weights? I mean, this guy, you post videos of training all the time on your page. I think he missed those posts because he was too busy over analyzing that one post there.
Yeah, man, and I'm in the 1250 club, about 50 pounds away from hitting the 1500-pound club. Most people even go to the gym, they can't get to the 1,000-pound club.
No,
So
tell people what that is.
Yeah, explain that. Break that down.
Oh,
We
so
got a lot of
basically it's a
people.
combination of your bench press max, your deadlift, and your squats. They have to accumulate the total pounds of 1,000 or 1,250 or 1,500. And I'm about 50 pounds away from the 1,500-pound club. So, yeah, that's... but I don't work, though, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, you're allergic to physical work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do breaking news. Danny is not a fitness model.
Danny's a powerlifter.
He's a power lifter.
So.
He's not chiseled. He's not redefined. He is muscle and strength.
Yeah. So, this is the problem. You got to do your research when you go to comment and look like a complete fool and an idiot. And like I just see a comment they posted on oh my God. Well, zoom in on that.
I can't see anything. What do you got?
That's a oh man, that's from that's Hulk Hogan.
We got Hogan?
We got Hogan, NWO, who's your daddy? I don't know whose daddy he is, but we got a picture. I think that's the guy that was commenting on your post.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks like
Stepdad of the year.
Yep, and
cute. You like kitties. You like the little pussycats.
I do. I have a killer kitty that sleeps on my feet.
So hopefully, the pussycat doesn't leave the post and it doesn't get deleted. I mean, was that Jay Hollywood that posted that? I mean, he's got some time in his hands this afternoon. He could go all night long. He's relentless.
Yeah.
When it comes to this. So
that's the thing. If people talk shit, and instead of, hit me up. So if you got a problem with me, you hit me up. Say, hey, Dan, what'd you say? What do you mean? I didn't mean no disrespect to anybody in the fires of California. You know what I mean? I had nothing to do with that. And, yeah, just hit me up. Say, hey, what's your beef on that? Talk to me. You don't post shit in there. You don't even know me. You know what I mean?
Do we have any other comments, Daniel?
Oh, in the chat room, we got a bunch here. Whatever happened to Chris Sataro? Brendan's asking.
Who?
And Brent saying, I love this so much. Trump, and good for Danny.
Whatever happened to Chris Sataro? Well,
we just said he's coming back.
We just said we've been advertising Powerhouse for the last 2 years now. He's back, and we've been running shows again.
Yeah, we made the divide up Worcester. What side does he want? If we go back to Worcester,
I mean, he's not really playing Worcester now, but. We could. I mean, there's other people playing Worcester, but initially those were Sataro's.
Yeah, I mean, and normally, like Beyond took over one of the venues that Chris used to run.
Yeah, the White Eagle in Worcester, that was one of our venues that we ran for many years.
Normally, like business plan wise, we normally don't like running areas where other people are consistently running.
Yeah.
To me, I just see it's old fashioned bad business. A lot of people disagree with that. They're like, "Oh, there's no territories." There is.
Well, but nowadays people don't respect that.
There is a respect issue.
That thin line, because we've had people come over and try to pull the dummy card and try to run right next door to us. So, I don't think a lot of people honor that respect anymore. But yeah, I mean, times have unfortunately changed in many ways for many things. So, yeah. Any other comments, Daniel? Because we're getting into that time.
Daniel Alves says he's ready for March anniversary. Let's effing go.
Oh, God.
Let's do this, man. And Jay says, "White, thank you."
He's ready for March anniversary?
Yep.
Can he take 3 things that he learned from that Southern Boys Midnight Express match and break it down to me psychologically?
And Brighton Star says, "Happy New Year to you all."
Brian Starr is on his way to March anniversary. He'll be at March anniversary this upcoming year.
I like Brian Starr.
So it's gonna be good.
A lot of potential. Get him back into it. I love the hustle.
It's gonna be a good one coming up, and like I said, next week we'll have some major announcements on that weekend. Chris Blackheart, you might be in trouble after that, but it's part of the program.
Listen, if I can't get any more in trouble than Hulk Hogan does, then I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Chris Blackheart, I'm surprised you ain't have any real American beer today.
No.
You're not gonna have one?
No, not today.
Oh, Danny Danny didn't open his. He didn't have his.
Well, we'll save it.
We'll save it for a special.
We'll save it for a special occasion.
We did use it for props, so props was good. So you're welcome, Hulk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But if you are looking for beer, go to your local Packy, as we say up in Massachusetts. Go to your local Packy liquor stores. Actually, it's good beer. I like it. I think that could be my number 3.
Which one, the Hogan?
Yeah, Hogan's beer is good.
Which one's the number 1?
So usually right now I would do Narragansett Light, Yingling or Yingling Light.
Yeah.
And then I'll put Hogan down as 3.
Okay.
You know, and those are interchangeable, you know.
Yeah. Alrighty. We got some other comments, Danny?
Brent says, good for Danny. Keep killing it in the gym. Yeah, thanks, brother.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what reactions, comments, and words we get from everything said here tonight.
All the shit talk was after the show's over, then I'll talk.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Don't give me.
I mean,
we had a conversation earlier about social media. Don't get me started on that.
You have the safety of the keyboard and the.
God, you had to open it, all right? So I'm going to put a new rule up, right? If you're on my friends list, right? Because I have a private Facebook, right? If you're on there, normally I don't discriminate people. I usually put majority of people on, right? But if you're on my Facebook, right, and you want to comment on something, there's a new rule going around now, right?
Yeah.
That if you can't say it in person, you shouldn't say it there. Because that means we have to see you in person, right?
Well.
So if you have the nuts to say it on social media, means that you have to have the nuts to say to somebody here.
Yeah.
All right? So if you're commenting on there, you got to go and find the people,
So-
right? So when we were talking about it, so maybe the idea is maybe if you have a problem with someone, disagreement with them, you actually sit down and have a conversation with them.
Well,
you're not going to be best friends.
Sometimes people can't. Sometimes you can't conversate with people because even if you conversate, they don't get it.
Well, then guess what? Then maybe you just have to learn how to shut your mouth.
Well,
all right, because things can happen to people, right? But if you have a conversation with people, you don't have to agree with them, but maybe you like them slightly more and dislike them slightly less.
Yeah.
You know, but to get people all tizzied up on their phone and get mad and threaten people in life-changing altercations, like real life, right?
Yeah.
Right? That is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why would you jeopardize your real life over your social media persona of being somebody who likes running your mouth against people?
Well, you know, it feels like day and night because a couple weeks, it was moi that was in question between all these pages and people posting, and I got people that I have on my friends list sharing the shit and liking the stuff, but yet these motherfuckers, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I have no clue who they are, majority of them. And the ones that I do know who they are because, you know, they stumble around here and there like a floating pebble in your toilet, wouldn't tell me the shit when they see me face to face. It's just funny. This week is Danny. Next week it might be you, Chris Blackheart. But
I'm starting tonight.
You starting tonight?
Starting tonight.
I mean, but speaking of next week, I like to leave everybody watching with a little hook.
We can do better
because we got some footage never released. Footage that inspired me to
not that one.
Inspired me to
Wait, the one we were talking about?
Inspired me to release it.
Oh, you can't do that.
Inspired me to release it. So since
Boston is going to be, I can't say that word either.
Since this
Boston could be floating upside down.
Okay, since this was one of the characters that had they're hanging off the rafters comment on our RCW show. We don't have to hang off the rosters because the roster actually gets paid, unlike, you know, your hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever it is that you're collecting in the shows that you appear or not appear. I mean, from his last photo, I could tell he's been taking all those paydays of old hot dogs and hamburgers. But regardless,
you're not gonna tell who it is.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm gonna
this
show.
is-
I'm gonna show who it is.
no,
This
no,
is
you-
the hook.
all right,
This
but-
is the hook
all
for
right.
next week, Chris Blackheart, because this character disappeared.
I don't think they deserve it. I don't
No,
think,
they do. They do, because we're gonna get him back.
No,
We
I
gotta
think
get
they
them
have
back.
to tune in next week to
Nah,
get it. You're being so giving. Why
We're
you
not
so nice?
playing it. I'm just showing
Why
who
you
it
being
is.
so nice?
They have to tune in.
Why you being so
Because
nice?
next week, this is a year old now. This is next month
Gosh, yeah.
to the date,
Yeah, that's
February 8th,
Yeah.
will be a year that this thing, incident, whatever you want to call it, happened. And I had it on, I had it on,
Was it a Samoan cam?
no, this was a doctor cam.
Dr. Cam.
Yep, courtesy of a doctor. And, fortunately for this individual, if it would have been a few years before that, he might needed a doctor. But for those who are interested, Danny, this thing zooms in. The camera there zooms in.
No, you have to.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
You may have to break away with that.
So, zoom it in there if you want to see the video of that individual. He's one of the founding saviors of pro wrestling in his own mind. He is the private eye of New England wrestling and private eye of the Women's
It
Society.
could be the hiding eye, not the private eye.
Yep, the guy that comes out of nowhere to give lights and comments. And another douchebag that, this is going to be the year of the douchebags, Chris Blackheart.
Well, it could be.
Because a lot of these jamokes, when you see them in person, Daniel, they have nothing to say.
Oh yeah.
They have nothing to say. Especially one that we had here and swore on his kid's soul. Mr. HD3. He's like a fly.
Aren't you going to Boston?
He's
soon?
like a fly on a shit pile. The guy just never goes away. He's like flying around the shit because that's what he is.
I thought you were going to a Union Hall soon. Isn't that true?
A what?
You were going on a road trip to Union Hall.
I don't know, but he's another one that's in
I
our eyes
could've-
because he's another one that was rambling his mouth in the comments. The one that swore to his kid's life, his mother's life. Oh, I had nothing to do with it. But you're liking the posts and you're over there rambling your mouth because you think that I'm not friends with none of these jamokes. So they think I don't see it. But your inner circle, they're the ones that snitch you guys out.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's the same motherfuckers that you think you're buddies with that go and send me the pictures and send me the screenshots and tell me that they're talking and they're doing all this stuff. So, it's funny because the initial snitch to all this thing when the little sign guy put those signs up in Taunton was HD3. He's the one that snitched the guy out.
Oh.
And now he's liking his post.
Wait a minute. Did Greg know that?
I don't know if he know or not, but they all run
Are
in
you
the same.
telling me you just ousted a rat?
He said it himself. We could go back to that episode. I mean, the Greg guy went to our episode when I mentioned that, wrestling fans are entitled to go to shows and host their opinion and, bring their signs and all this. And they are. Yeah. I could care less when it's all about a wrestling angle. But when you're doing this because you think you know something personal that you don't have a fucking clue about, then it becomes a problem, and I just felt like I had to throw those names because, like I said, we're transparent here, and those are the usual suspects that I usually see in every post. If there's a post, there's Mr. Chatty chatting away, and the weirdest part and the creepiest part is, and this is my question, and we'll wrap things up here for tonight. If a guy is the Lord and Savior of women that are getting talked to in a certain way or approached in a certain way, this guy is the first one to comment on their pages. So what does that tell you?
Well, if you're always the first one to the scene, my question is, how do you know the scene?
You're lurking around the scene, right?
How do you know the scene was there?
So you're lurking around that scene. So that means you're in these girls' pages lurking around. You're the first like, you're the first comment. So you're lurking around the area to see how you can infiltrate yourself. But anyways, for tonight, that's all we have. If you want to see the full video next week, tune in right here next week to the Showcase Pod. We're going to have that. You might have some tears running down your eyes. I don't know. It's rated R, the language you're going to hear. But, you know, New Year, in celebration of the almost 1 year anniversary to this, we'll have it here next week in the Showcase Pod. But for now, for tonight, that's all we got. For Dan Badandi, for the boss Chris Blackheart, and Don Vega, we will see you right back here next week in the Showcase Pod.